atmosphere.
It's Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, greetings and salutation. What happened right here? Oh, greetings and salutation, everybody. I want to say greetings to the kingdom builders and visionary leadership. That's what you all are. Y'all tune into the Real Talk with Judy show. I ask y'all to forgive me. I know that you all are waiting. So go ahead and do me a favor, tag and share right now, and just keep tagging all throughout the show. We may open up the line for call-ins, but we just had not we because she's my guest and I'm feeling a little angry right now, but she had a bad experience on her way getting here, and she was like attacked by her Uber driver, and so she's a little shaken up right now. So we're going to get through the show, and she's going to be here as long as she want to be here. Well, for the minutes I got on here. But just want y'all to know, pray for, and we're going to talk about it. And I'm glad you're here. I am Dr. Judy, the host of this amazing, thought-provoking, impactful live radio show. And so to all of you via radio, Facebook Live, YouTube, however you coming in the radio app, again, thank you for joining me. Please do me a favor, go ahead and call, text, tag everyone you know and let them get on. This show is a real show, and we're diving into a real situation, dealing with some real situations here. And I have been dealing with y'all know I have to shout out my mom, Dr. Emma Hunter Wesley, and my dad, Mr. Sylvester Wesley, every time I start my show, every time I do anything. Their name, their life will never be forgotten and never be silenced as long as me, sisters and brothers, and their grandchildren have a voice. We are their legacy. We are their legacy. And again, shout out to my amazing husband, Superintendent Mandrell, to Priscilla John Lewis, who does an excellent job and presenting everything that we do. She's a woman of excellence, and I greatly appreciate it. And before I go any further, I want to give a special shout out to Evangelist Danette McBride, who is my covenant friend. She's one of the greatest women I know. And today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Danette. Happy birthday. We celebrate you. So we're going to get right into the show. I want to thank you all for choosing to take a seat at the table, to invest 1 hour of your valuable time with us today. But we want to get into the topic of discussion that we have for today. And I want to bring on my amazing guest, even though she's dealing with some issues. She's dealing with a very traumatic experience that she's had this morning. And so, but we're going to get into the show. I've been talking about human and sex trafficking, domestic violence. We have seen the violence that's going on. It's not worse than everything that you can imagine. A whole lot of stuff going on. Unfortunately, with this domestic violence, it is a known fact that's hidden in so many places. But we're going to deal with it. I wanted to bring on, and I have a young man too who was in a domestic violence marriage, and we may bring him on another time because it don't happen just to women, but it happened to men as well. But it happened to women more. And y'all, we got so much going on. We got domestic violence. We have sexual sexual molestation with these children. These children, I mean, I know it's been happening all the time, and the only reason why we are having it and seeing it more now is because of Facebook and YouTube and all of these different apps. So they're making it more public, but it's been here all the time. And so we're going to talk about it. My guest. So after having some of the experts in bringing in the theory, bringing in the data, I wanted to bring on someone who has survived, and I guess that's the right word, survived domestic violence. And our desire is that her story will be a blueprint to someone listening to help you move from pain to purpose. She has accomplished some beautiful things since in domestic violence, and we're going to talk about it because I'm not sure. I would presume that there is still some repercussion that she may deal with. I don't know for sure, but we're going to find out today. So my special guest is Ms. Jamerica Jones. Ms. Jamerica, welcome to the Real Talk with Judy Live Radio Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. And I want to apologize in advance to what you endured before you got here. I want to thank God. I forgot her name. The one who worked here with Doc D. Now she came from behind the desk and prayed with her.
Yes.
She came from behind the desk and prayed with her, and that's what Hallelujah 95.3 offer you. They come from behind the desk and give you prayer. And so, Jamerica, again, welcome to the Real Talk with Judy show. Before getting into all your other stuff, tell us some other little thing about you we might know, like where you're from and different things like that.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I am from Tallahassee.
Oh, you're from Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't like when I say that, but yes, ma'am.
I really thought you were from up north somewhere. I wasn't being funny. I thought you were from right here.
I receive it because a lot of my father's family is from that way.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead.
So yes, I am from Tallahassee. I'm actually here on assignment, part of this, because I like traveling. I like doing community organizing and advocacy work, and I prefer doing it away from Tallahassee.
Okay.
What else? My biggest and greatest accomplishment is being a mother. And now from being a mother, I am a grandmother. And my biggest desire is to be a better grandmother than I was a mother.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many children do you have?
I just have one son. That was my greatest choice.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, God bless you. And now you're a grandmother and you want to be a greater grandmother than you were the mother.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, and we're going to dive into the show because today, y'all, and I want to thank Apostle Janet Clary for highly recommending you. She felt like you should be the one who's speaking to people's hearts today, and you could tell your story. And I really wanted someone who was safe to tell it, because I understand so much better after 20-some years as a social worker, working in the community, working in the church, seeing people being hurt, trying to leave, and seeing people being hurt who I still know people right today who will not leave. I've had, I know some pastor wives here who told me, share with me that their husband beat them and then go into the pulpit and preach. And that there's a lot of other pastors who know, but they won't do anything. So, and you're shaking your head, so I guess you know that too. And listen, if I know something is wrong, like domestic violence and stuff like that, sexual molestation, anything, I report it. And I just want y'all to know, I will. I'm a tattletale. I will tell, because I don't think anybody should have to endure that. So I thank Dr. Janet Clary for inviting you to be on this show.
Yes, ma'am.
Today we're going to enter in a very sacred place. We're going to talk to the woman, or the women, the men, the boys and girls who feel trapped in your own home, the survivor who is still wearing the mask, and the community that needs to know how to stand in the gap. We're gonna talk about all of that. So today is about the blueprint. We're moving from the basement of pain to the penthouse of promise. But a lot of times before you can move, you got to understand what the basement looked like for somebody who lived in the basement. So it is an intentional, systematic attempt to occupy the jurisdictional authority of your life. That's what domestic violence is about, all about. Jamaica, you ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's get, and I know that you have a whole lot to get started with. My sister Tanya's on here and some others. You all are listening. I know we got a lot of women who for whatever reason who are still trapped in their homes, still trapped. So let's start with your story. Wherever you want to start. You can start when you until my time run out. But I am going to be interrupting you
Oh, yes.
and putting stuff in, okay?
Yes.
All right, so go ahead, Jamaica.
Do you have any questions you want to ask?
Would that make it easier?
Either way, I can flow either
So you
way.
can flow either way. Huh? Get started.
With
Then
the
we-
help of the Lord.
yeah. Yeah. Let's deal with this. What a lot of people think that domestic violence is just being hit, just when you're being physically abused. Let's talk a little. Can we start right there?
Yes, ma'am. It could also be verbally.
Okay.
With me, I think the reason I was so okay with it and stayed in it for the reasons that I did is because I always had an identity with myself.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. What age were you when the abuse started? Because I want to know. You say you stayed in it, and then you got reasons why you stayed. And so I wanna let's dig as deep as you're willing to go. So what age were you when domestic violence started?
Well, when domestic violence really started with me, I experienced something minor when I was about 22 years old, and I dismissed it. But I think it goes deeper than that. I think it goes back to issues that I have had since I was a child,
Okay.
and not being able to know who I was, to properly love myself, and having different types of identity issues with who I was.
Okay. So you wow. Yeah, because they said a lot of time and we're going to talk a lot about women, you all, because that is the highest form of who usually get abused or who experience the violence. So it's going to be a lot geared towards women. But if you have any question, put them in the chat. Okay, if you're on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook and you want to call and ask a question, just call over there and he'll get the question to us, 850-671-1450. I know this is a very sensitive issue. So I mean, for a lot of people, there's some people probably was told you better not listen. You better not listen to Dr. Judy show today. You better not listen to that. And I felt that in my spirit earlier, that there would be some, you better not listen to her show. I had a pastor that tell me, if you ever say something, because you don't know if my wife's telling the truth or not, because I confronted him and said, your wife said, I mean, are you, I said, are you your wife? We was having a conversation. I said, do you ever hit your wife? Oh, no, I would never hit my wife. I said, oh, because I would tell. Oh, no. But he was, and so, but you said as a child, having an identity crisis, doing things, I guess they did not really validate you as a child. Am I going in the right direction?
In some instance, that could have been the case. That's how I received the case to be. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that. But it also comes from, in my situation, what I was used to as far as the first fundamental years of my life. And then going through certain things, unfortunately, because of life and the things that my parents went through. And then being, put in foster care, living with other people, which I'm grateful that all of those took the time to love me the best way that they could and to accept me and receive me as theirs. But living in places like that and already seeing the things that some children wouldn't still be able to live as a child, let alone get to be living day to day, being close to 50. You get what I'm saying? Some people wouldn't have been able to live it. So seeing the things that I saw, it made it difficult for me to stand on the word at times that my grandmother would tell me to stand on and to see myself as Christ sees me. And she was the best living, walking epistle that God could have put in my life, and now I can receive all of the teachings and the things that she said, even like with advocating. I remember 2 years before she transitioned, she was letting me know the things that God was showing her I was going to do. And I'm like, who, me, mother? I would never do that. I'm like, I don't even like people like that. Still to this day, I'm not a front and center person. So that's kind of where some of mine stem from because of root issues.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So growing up and wanting to be seen and heard and accepted, especially as a young adult, and then when the trauma really happened with domestic violence, I was like in my 30s. And I met and seen someone that I thought was an amazing person, which they are. However, they weren't my real before me. And it ended up being a trauma bond. I seen that they went through stuff that I went through. People didn't value them. People didn't receive him. They didn't love him. And he was broken. But at that time, I was still a broken little girl myself. So that's kind of how it started. And so with me seeing the things that I saw in life when he first did what he did, I'm like, no, he got to go. Yes, he has issues, but he can't stay around me and my son. Like, I have to let him go. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen.
And was that because the love or the things that you were missing, was he still providing some of that?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I think what kept me is because now I know it a lot better than I did then. Mm-hmm. The Lord has, and he does it daily, equipped me to help others. Mm-hmm. But at that time, he was trying to equip me to be who he made and created me to be. Mm-hmm. I didn't love myself. You get what I'm saying? But I wanted to love others and see issues with them, but I didn't see the issues within myself that the Lord kept revealing to me, even sometimes through that person.
So that is an interesting take, Jamerica. So help me make sure that I'm understanding this right. So you stayed because you wanted to help him.
Yes, ma'am.
So you endured the abuse because you were going to help him. You know what? Out of all the things that I've studied,
I've never heard of this before.
That I met, I have not heard this. I have not heard anyone say, you okay?
Yes.
I have never heard that. Wow. So you took the abuse because you wanted to help him not be an abuser at the expense of you enduring the abuse. Wow. Elaborate on that a little bit. I see that's feeling really hard for you. Auntie, I see that's feeling really hard for you. Go ahead. We got a whole box of tissue. Wow.
Oh, wow. Just don't know what to do. Whatever need to be.
So you endured the abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk to anyone?
Well, I wanted to make sure they were okay and not them to be in trouble. And then when I got sick, they were gonna put him up. And I went and spoke to to the judge.
Okay, so hold on. So when you say they were gonna put him up, what do you mean?
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna lock
was,
him up?
yes, ma'am. I was trying to not do it. I was trying to see that he needed help.
America.
I was trying to say that he need help and he not to be like that.
So did they get involved with the abuse with you?
No, they basically was gonna give him in trouble, but they dropped it because I was saying he didn't know, go away. He needed to get certain, what was it I asked? For him get a shopping, not a shopping, I forgot what it's called, but I asked them, could he be in it? Because I was there with, um, I was down. What do you call it? Oh my goodness, I can't think of it.
If y'all
When
can
I
help
was
her
there-
think of it, y'all could
I
write it in
can't
there, 'cause
think. I talked to it was the lady has never worked. Oh my goodness, I can't think of her name.
It's okay to come back.
Her name is
So she helped him. Okay, I'm trying. So you got sick. They were gonna lock him up
mhm.
in jail or in jail?
Yes, they
Okay, they're gonna
they
put-
was trying to go no, not what is it?
Mental hospital.
Well, I tried to do that because I felt that was better than them going to just go to
Go to jail and
right,
not get help.
right, because they needed help
Help.
and they needed to be changed,
Not
and-
prison.
right,
And
not
so
to do that.
you were gonna help him,
Yes. Well, now he's in trouble. He's in prison.
and now he's in prison.
He's in prison.
So you get sick,
hmm
and did the abuse continue?
Yeah, I got really sick. I ended up having, yeah, the first time I passed out, didn't know what was going on. I think I may have had what do you call it? They found out that I had a AVM on my left temple that was the size of a large grapefruit. And so something happened, they got mad and they came at me and I never would fight back. I just would lay down and I was screaming and I couldn't speak because of my neck. And I was praying and my neighbor, she heard me praying and thank God she came. They ran and the next, when was it, about 2 days ago, because they couldn't get out of my house. I was trying to get the company to get him out. And what happened, he came, I was on the phone with my sister. I had just took my son to school. I said, something isn't right. Before I go to work, I need to rush. I know I need to rest. And what happened is my youngest sister was on the phone. Next thing I know is I passed out. And that's when I had my first, what was it called? Basically, I had, Lord help me.
Aneurysm?
No, the AVM was called, I forget what they call it, but it made me have basically I had can't even think of it, wow. But I was sick. The ambulance came and then that's when I found out what this meant. And I also had, a stroke. I had a stroke.
Did that come from him hitting you?
It came from hitting me, but with the mass that was on my left
Temple.
head, yes, ma'am, it's still there and it's large. And so that's what they found out.
So they couldn't remove that.
They couldn't remove it, and at one point it was removed. It was removed about 2 years ago.
And it grew back?
They're thinking that it's back now. I just had to go to the doctor about 2 weeks ago. I have to go to Gainesville.
So with a lot of that trauma and the experience that you're having in your head now, the sickness that you were dealing with and all of that, a lot of that comes from being beaten.
Yes, ma'am, because it happened, the one night it happened, I was actually supposed to go to church. We were having something that our amazing pastor was having before, I forget what it was, and I missed it because I felt like I shouldn't go. And before that incident happened, my mom and my sister, they came by thinking that something was wrong. And I'm like, everything is okay. And my mom felt, or no, she saw that it was a swollen part on my head. I didn't even notice that. And then something happened with me and the person 2 days later. And then that's when everything happened. And then I met my yeah my amazing one of my amazing doctors, and I was out of it. I kept saying, well, I have to go to work and I have to get my son ready for such and such, because he was doing so great in school. He had a trip coming up, so I was ready to go to my part-time job because I wanted to make extra money so he could go on this trip and he could, have a good time and have more than enough money. But unfortunately, yeah, I was in the hospital. He said, yeah, she don't understand. I'll talk to her at another time. I was in the hospital, and then they were finding out. And I thank God, because they thought I wasn't going to make it. At one point, they were telling me how to prepare for my funeral,
Really?
and how serious that this mass has to be removed. And they don't understand how it's going to be removed. And I told them, if it's God wants me to live, I said, because I will not die prematurely in the mighty name of Jesus. I said, so whatever the Lord is telling you to do, whether you have to open up my head and you have to move it, whatever God decides, that's what's going to happen. And he got upset because he found out that when I was in prison, and I was very sick and almost died in the prison, that they found out that the mass was there and they never told me. And he was angry. He went to cursing. And
Who, the doctor?
yes, my surgeon. Still to this day, he was in awe that they said that, and he threw my paperwork down. And he was like, you don't understand. I said, but I know God is God of God, and it's what he says.
Wow. So you have gone through a whole lot. You've gone through a whole lot. The sickness, foster care. And what I like about foster care, and I was a foster care counselor for about 20 years. When you have good parents, when you have the parents who really care, who can help you through some things, and then you also had your grandmother who was there. Now, some foster homes ain't that good, but it seemed like you have come, but I'm still stuck on the part, not stuck, but understanding how you wanted to help. And I want to say to some people, please, not at your expense. I know, Jamaica, I heard you say you was young, but I'm sure that you can talk now.
Yes.
Can you, to some people about, even if God give you a gift, hear me, sisters and brothers, God give you a gift, and you're in a dangerous situation, seek counsel.
Yes.
Now, I mean, I'm sure now looking back, you know, because you was young, but we have to because this is what I believe, and we can have dialogue right here. I like to have dialogue now. But you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you might end up being killed. And because he could have killed you.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell me about that.
What it was,
Wow.
I know some of it was spiritual, because of things that they went through. And I went to the judge, and the judge, and an amazing public defender. I was speaking with her. I'm not going to say her name.
I don't say her name.
She's an amazing, we went to school together. She's an amazing judge now, and she was a public defender. And I was like, I have to help him. I even went to the state attorney, and they were like, why? I said, because something is going on that he went through in life, and he does not know who he is.
So, Jamaica, let's stay there for a minute. Let's stay there for a minute, because I'm just, I don't know. I've never heard that. So, you endured, and there's possible some others who's doing the same thing right now. You think?
Yes, ma'am, but they have to know who they are in Christ.
Yeah, see, that's what we want to
You
get.
have to know who you are, and even because unfortunately a lot of people don't believe in Christ and have no idea who he is and don't have a relationship with Christ. So with them not, they are whoever, or they think they are a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how important they are and how much they're loved, and not to take people not loving them and treat them any kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
That's back when I was said at that point I was still a broken little girl.
Right.
And I knew that he wasn't loving me. I knew that he wasn't treating me right. But I also seen that he was hurt and he had problems. A lot of other women and men that go through that, they don't see that. They're just taking how they're being treated. You know what I'm saying? They say,
well, I'm trying to get this to America real good, just because I really want people to understand, because there might be someone listening to us who say, well, maybe this is a spiritual thing. Maybe I'm supposed to stay here and take this.
no, they're not supposed
All right,
to.
that's what I want you to get.
Not at all.
Yeah,
No,
get
ma'am,
that.
they're not supposed
All
to
right,
take it
here
at
we go.
all. That's
Go
why I
ahead.
say it's the way that they love themselves, or they don't. Majority of people that go with it, it may seem like they love themselves, but if they truly did love themselves, they wouldn't take it.
Okay.
And a lot of them don't like to be alone. I remember some time back when I started being told that I'm supposed to help other people go through it. She said, well, girl, it's okay. At least I ain't by myself. He'll be okay. And I'm like, by yourself? I said, well, do you really love yourself? I said, because I can admit, I didn't used to love myself.
Okay.
I didn't truly love myself. And I feel like that's why a lot of people go through it.
Okay.
Because when you truly do love yourself and you see yourself that the Lord has created and made you to be,
Okay.
it makes a huge difference.
Okay.
And you have to get, and even if, because unfortunately a lot of people don't believe in the Lord, and some of them may go and get counseling. And what they have to do is listen to what the counselor is telling them about, that they don't deserve to be treated like that. They are better than that. But it's difficult for a lot of people to really receive it. They think it's okay, like the ones you said earlier that are married, and how unfortunately spiritual leaders are doing it to their wives and husbands, and they think it's okay. And then the person that's being treated like that, the reason they're taking it and think it's okay, because they're not healed, delivered, and set free.
Okay.
They have been through something, and unfortunately, I hope it's okay to say this because that's part of what this month means. I have learned with helping a lot of people that a lot of people that have been sexually assaulted,
it's okay to say.
Okay, sexually assaulted are ones that go through that. And they don't know not just how to love themselves, but they don't have any sense of self.
And so they take it out on their significant other, the husband, or that's the wife or somebody, or the children.
Yes.
Because they're still trying to deal with the trauma. I understand what you're telling me. Yes. So when you went through that, you wasn't healed yourself.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I used to call myself a broken little girl. Part of my book that will be coming out soon, that's why it's titled Who Hurt the Little Girl Within.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. That is Who Hurt the Little Girl Again.
Who hurt the little girl within.
Oh. And you know what, Jamaica, I think we don't pay enough attention either. So your book, you just said that. Who heard the little girl again?
Within.
Who heard the little girl within?
Yes, ma'am.
That is powerful. Who heard the little girl? And sometimes when people are not heard, or they're trying to give signals, we miss it. We miss it. And she can't really come out and say, so-and-so is beating me. And they go back to it because who's hearing the little girl within?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Part of it is, I used to, I love dressing. I like dressing nice. I
You
thank
do?
my grandmother for that, my father, and also my biological mother. And I love my mom that raised me because that was something that my grandmother and my dad was big about. And I never forget, like with my hair. Part of why I didn't like my hair is because everyone was so in tune and thought it was just so beautiful. Oh, your hair is beautiful. You're beautiful. But they had no idea what I was going through as a child and as an adult.
But they focus on your outer beauty.
Right. And that's
Because your hair is beautiful.
Thank you.
I hope
Thank
it's okay
you.
to say that
Oh,
now.
thank you.
Yeah, because I've learned to be real careful, especially now since I'm learning more. But go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So I had to learn that as I got older and I totally surrendered things to the Lord. Even though He knew, I had to go before Him and pray and ask Him not just to help me forgive who may have did A through Z to me, but help me to see what it is that He wants me to be and who He says I am. And it took a lot of time, to get in that place and understand why He allowed me to go through the things that I went through.
How did Auntie Doris talked about it on here? She said you got to have an escape plan so you won't get killed. And we want to talk about that because I do want to talk, just mention that she said earlier, it's more than physical abuse.
Verbally,
you got verbally emotional.
Yes,
that verbal abuse will kill you.
It can, and what a lot of people don't realize, it can come from even when you were a child and you're being okay with whomever say to you when it's not right. But you may receive it and think that it's okay. So when you're in a relationship and someone else is being like that, when you haven't already been healed and learned that you're not these things that they're calling you verbally, that's a whole process. Because I know in my situation, sometimes I would just take whatever somebody said and I'd be like, well, I've had to learn that was their opinion. I'm not that. And what she's saying about having an escape, it's not just about having an escape. You have to be able to find someone that you truly can trust, organization or a program, because sometimes people will go back, especially in places like Tallahassee. I've learned it in other places where I help. I'm not going to say the name of the city of the states, but sometimes the victim gets a little paranoid because the person that's supposed to help will go say where they at X, Y, and Z. So sometimes people get scared, I feel, and stay because they feel like they've been in a situation when they went to somebody and somebody then went and said something.
And that make it worse.
And that makes it very much worse. So they have to realize is that they have to leave. And sometimes I know here they can call 211 and the
Priscilla,
refuge
are you able to pull up those numbers that I sent? I don't know if I sent it too late, but I have a list of numbers because one thing I've learned too, Jamaica, because I've never been in an abusive situation. I hadn't seen domestic violence up close and personal, but I've met people who was in the situation.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would say, just leave. What do you stand for?
It's
leave.
not that easy.
And by the time I talked to, and one person really left one time, and they went back. And I'm like, why did you go back? Me, not, and I want y'all to really hear my heart. Me, not being knowledgeable enough on the situation, me not being knowledgeable enough of the situation, told them that was crazy. Bad word. Because we were close enough. We wasn't close friends, but we. And she said, Pastor Judy, that's one of the most hurtful things that you could have said to me. And I'm like, well, to me, it's crazy that you went back. She said, to you, but you don't understand the threats that I had. you don't understand that I don't have enough money to live anywhere by myself. I need his money to help. And you didn't offer to help me get anywhere. I can't live where we were because he's gonna know. And I said, I am so sorry. And she was like, don't tell another person who's caught in a domestic violence situation that they're crazy for anything they do. She said, you don't understand. I was like, no, I don't. Help me understand. And she said, you don't really want to understand. You are like everybody else. She said, you are like everybody else. And that point, I started studying.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to put a person in jeopardy, in danger. Talk to me a little bit about that. Because we got to get to how you go ahead, talk to that a little bit about that. Because that exit strategy is important.
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes when a person does try to leave and then they get with somebody that they trust, the reason they take offense, in my opinion, that someone is saying that's crazy because they may not have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
And then when they do try to leave, the person sometimes can be stalking you and watching you, watching everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? And then they have ways, if the man or woman don't have a job or if they have health issues, that's a way they can kind of manipulate them and reel them back in because of the finances or because of needing somewhere to stay.
Wow.
But what they could do is always, especially if they're in this area, and I think also in the state of Florida, they can call 211. Also, I have a business called Queens on a Journey to Success. What I do is right now I'm helping someone in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm helping someone in Michigan. I can go on. They're not ready to come here to Tallahassee, Florida, but anyone that needs help, and if someone is truly wanting to help them and for them to get out of the situation to be a better whole healed person, there are different organizations within Leon County, Gadsden County, Jackson County, throughout the area, these areas that will help them get in better situations. And if they're uncomfortable and don't want you to tell anyone, you should respect that and not tell anyone. And if
that they're in a domestic violence situation.
That not just that they're in a domestic violence situation, but say if you know somewhere home where they can get and where they can be, and they're okay with helping them get a job or with helping them live there and not have to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? To give them, let's say 30 days, not 30 days, 30 months, 90 days to get on their feet. You get what I'm saying? Because
so someone just put up here we got the what was that? The refuge house in Tallahassee.
Exactly. That's
and so I know I'm talking to people all over the world. So I would say find your I had this is the national domestic violence hotline is 1-800-799 there it is 1-800-799-SAFE. Or you could text start to that. I would strongly suggest to write that down. We're getting in the chat so you can know. My time is just about out, y'all. But get those numbers. That's the National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Yes, ma'am.
Get that, and then you got the National Teen Dating Abuse Hotline. Love is respect. That's what the number is. Love is respect. And you could text love is to that. Y'all, this is important because we have so many teen dating. And you know what I found out? I was talking with someone else in a domestic violence situation. A lot of the guys get it from home.
Yes, it's their environment.
It's their environment. So they see their father do it, and it's hidden, but then they get out and it's hidden.
Absolutely. I was speaking to a mentee about that on yesterday. A lot of people are their atmosphere.
Yes.
They are their surroundings.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, they've seen it just like it was a case that happened the other month. I was telling her it wasn't the 18 or the 19-year-old's boy for what he did. What he did was absolutely wrong, but what made him do what he did?
Mm-hmm.
They need to do an assessment on him. That's why with the person that did it to me, I didn't want them to do time. I wanted them to get help, to be healed, because what was making them think that it was okay to do this?
Well, let me ask you this, Jamaica. You ever hit it back?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Oh, indeed.
All right. For those of you who just said, Pastor Judy, yeah, I just want to know if you hit it back. That's all.
Oh, yes, ma'am. When that incident happened to me, I got choked out, and I took him down because, I have a little wobble, a little waddle, kind of like a penguin in a limp, So people don't realize my upper body strength is totally different than the way I kind of have my waddle and my limp. I do work out, and it's nothing wrong with my upper body strength. And I'm not, glory be to God, I'm not a scary person, and prison, I went through some stuff from prison. So
you went to prison?
Yes, ma'am. I've been in prison. So I went through some things when I was in prison. So when he started it, at first I used to have to pray. Even though I wasn't living right, I'd be like, Lord, help me, because you really know. Right. And so when he got me that particular day, I got him. And that made him angry, and we both fell down together. And glory be to God, my neighbor heard me pleading to God. And I was basically praying, Lord, if you're taking my life right now, please allow my son to be safe, And thank God she called the police. And I just actually saw her daughter a few days ago.
Wow, it got. I know I got stuck on the first part, but we would have to do this again because it's just so much. And those of you who are going through it, I am not saying to you to just walk out of that house. I am not saying to you to just leave. I have learned better. And as Jamaica is saying, you have to, in your escape plan, the first thing to do, you find somebody to talk to who you trust. Call Refuge House here in Tallahassee.
You can also call me and contact me.
I think I have your information. I have a flyer with your information. Priscilla, did I send that on time? I be trying. this. And so, excuse me. She got Angel Wings, Connie Corner, Safe House for Domestic Violence. So we got that. Oh, there's yours right there. On her journey to success, because she did that because she was in domestic violence.
Partially. And sexual assault. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And being that I made it through time in prison alive when I almost died, and the Lord gave me that name a while ago before I even went forward to make it an LLC. And I want to give an amazing shout out to Dignity Power that I spoke with you about some years back. And it was because of them that now I actually advocate, and I go around and I share. And I do whatever I can to help men, women, girls, or boys get through traumatic situations.
And that's what it's all about, my sisters and brothers. When you go through something tragic in life, you have those traumatic experiences. When you're healed enough, turn it around and help somebody else. And I say healed enough because we don't want you, and you don't want to put yourself in. I asked Dr. Clary, do you know anyone who's healed enough to talk about it? Because I don't want to open up anything else. We got too much going on in life to help people, to have people to rehash drums that still hurt and stuff like that. And so, but I do thank you for being here. My time is well far spent because I got stuck. But I really want you to get help if you're being abused in any kind of way. If you've been abused in any kind of way, get help. Get help. There are people out there that you, Doris Dixon Strong, my auntie, said you are amazing. Okay, but we want you to get help. We don't want anybody killing their families. That man who killed all those children, 7 of his, there was something going on with that. There's something in his head. The man who killed the mayor down there in Fort Lauderdale, something going on. We're having so many people
Yes.
going psychologically, having psychological breakdowns because I believe what America said, it hadn't been dealt with as a child. And when you're raised in the home and you see this domestic violence and you see this, unfortunately, we got pastors who wives sitting on the front row with all that makeup on and all of this kind of stuff, and it just ought not be. You know, I'm sitting here thinking about Color Purple when Whoopi Goldberg told the lady, I just lay there and let Mister do his business.
And unfortunately, that's how a lot of people are. They take it as if it's okay. They're a provider, they're their husband, they're their parent, they're their this. And what it is, I hope it's okay for me to say this, it is very important, and it's nothing wrong with getting therapy. It is nothing wrong with getting help for your mental capacity. Years ago, when DCF had to get involved with something that I went through. I'm trying not to say what it was, but I would always go and talk to my counselor, and being that I had an open case, I was in foster care, I had a social worker. And I thank God for giving me the confidence to speak to them and not hide nothing from them. I say that to say that it opened up me getting counseling. And one of the counselings that I had when I was a teenager was saying that you're going to need ongoing counseling. I never took it for granted, never took it lightly, but that was very true because I was still a broken little girl and not whole. And back to what you're saying, a lot of people go through things and they're not healed from it. You know, like the root issues aren't pulled up. That's why they're okay with accepting it. It is not okay because God did not create you to go through that. God created you to have love and to be in an area, in an atmosphere where his love does abound. And so the best thing to do is find someone, get help. Sometimes it may be even leaving the city or the county, the state that you're living in, because there are different organizations throughout the United States.
All right. Well, we're out of time, and I want to thank you so very much, y'all. She gave some good stuff, and a lot of time, if we don't know who we are, and I want to make this disclaimer right here before I leave this show. This show is not telling you to leave tonight. This show is not telling you that at all. Dr. Judy's not telling you that. Jamaica's not telling you that. But we are telling you that you have a right to be loved. You have a right to find out who you are. Use wisdom. And when it's safe and you have that plan together, then find your exit out. Take that pain that you have endured and make it become purposeful. You deserve to be loved.
Yeah.
God didn't create you to be beaten up. He did not create you to be abused. Sexual abuse, if she say no, even in marriage, the answer is no. If he say no, the answer is no. If you force him to do it, it's rape, whether you're married or not, and that's the law. If you're forced to do it emotionally, be beautiful to yourself. All right? If he tell you how ugly you are, don't fall for it. All right? I got to go, but I want to thank you all so very much for being here. Jamaica, thank you so very much for being here. Y'all have a great day. Y'all just walk in who God called you to be. And if you see Danette today, she's not on Facebook, so she don't do Facebook. But if you see her anywhere today, or you know how to get her, tell her happy birthday. I'm going to put her post up in a little bit, and you can tell her happy birthday. I'd love to see it. All right? But thank y'all. Guess what she's going to be? You can join her for her party tonight at Life Changer. She's teaching Bible study tonight. So you can come grow with us tonight as she teach Bible study. All right? And join me Sunday morning. Hey, it's been a pleasing pleasure to have you with us. I love you. I actually do. And I bring these shows on because I want you safe, not dead. God created you to live, and to live to tell the story. That's real talk.
talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy.